Hello and welcome to Frightmare HQ. I am your host, Lloyd Cryer, and I'm here with the always affable co-host, Charles Doze.
It is I, Lloyd Charles.
Welcome, Charles. How you been doing, man?
I am so great, Lloyd. How about you?
I'm pretty good. Everything's been going real good. I've been really looking forward to getting back on the show and going live with everybody. How's everybody doing out there? We are glad to be here with you.
We're so glad to see everybody. It is a wonderful Saturday. Hopefully, all the quarantine is still treating people okay.
Hopefully. It's I think it's getting better. It seems like they're starting to open up some stuff around here a little more.
Okay.
But who knows, man? I don't even keep up with it anymore. There's so much stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't keep up with it either. In Dallas, it's things are closed, but that doesn't really stop people in Dallas. They're still gonna go out and do things. So
Yeah.
I'm always home anyway, so it's just another excuse to watch more movies.
Yeah, exactly. Have you seen anything new lately?
Not new, but I did rewatch Foxy Brown a couple of days ago, and I can
Ooh.
tell you, anytime I watch a movie with Pam Grier, I feel saucy for days. I mean, I get this new rush of life through me, and it's all Pam Grier. I'm telling you, she does something to me, magical.
Exactly. You met Pam Grier once, didn't you?
I did. I met Pam Grier at the Fort Worth Garden Show. She was there to sign her gardening book. I showed up like the creepy guy, like, hey, girl, what you doing?
I know you did.
Me and all these older people there for their gardening, and then it was Charles like, yo, how you doing, Foxy? It's me, the White Devil.
You got that book, right?
I did. I got it signed by her. It's her autobiography. It's somewhere around here. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
Somewhere around here.
I remember when you met her, you were very excited. You bragged about it for days.
I think I still brag about it. It's been like 10 years, and I show up in places. I'm like, you guys know I met Pam Grier before, right? No big deal.
Exactly. So it's 2:03 now. We've gone on for a couple
Yes.
minutes. I see Paul Riddell has joined us. We haven't brought him in yet, but why don't we go ahead and bring him in? What do you think? It's a little early, but let's do it.
Let's bring Paul in. I want to hear about this. Let's bring him in.
All right, everybody, please welcome Paul Riddell from the Texas Triffid Ranch. How you doing, sir?
Doing all right. And all I can say about bringing me on is, you'll be sorry.
Ah, Paul.
So,
I want to be sorry.
Very seriously, how's everybody doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. No complaints here. Doing the quarantine thing.
Yep.
Oh, I hear you there. Well, let me go ahead.
So,
and show you
Paul,
around
tell
here.
us a little bit. Oh, yeah. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing here. You're going to show us around your gallery at the Texas Triffid Ranch. But before you do that, tell us about what you do.
Okay, well, in my case, the Triffid Ranch is Dallas's pretty much only carnivorous plant gallery. I started raising carnivorous plants at the end of 2002. Got to the point of where enough people were inviting me to shows and events like Frightmare that I started selling them. And yeah, this would have been my 11th straight Frightmare here as of next weekend. Obviously, I'm getting everything ready for September, but in the interim, I also have a gallery in the Richardson area, specifically dedicated to larger enclosure stuff that's just a little bit too big to be able to bring out to events like Frightmare.
Gotcha.
Among other things, prevents me from being hit by lightning like I have been previously.
You've been hit by lightning.
Just let everyone else listen on this show is, the entire security crew refers to me as Sparky. I was coming in for one show. A bad storm was coming through right at PFW, and my truck got hit by lightning. So these guys still call me Sparky to this day.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't say I didn't deserve it, but there you go.
Wow. So, but you weren't hurt yourself, were you?
Oh, no. Just all of a sudden, there's
perfect.
this earth-shattering kaboom inside the truck, and it was a matter of realizing I'd been struck by lightning.
You thought for a second you were so awesome that your truck exploded, didn't you? That's what you thought happened.
I didn't think I was awesome. I was thinking, what the hell happened this time?
Wow.
That's amazing.
So, do you only call them carnivorous plants, or can we call them flesh-eating plants? Is that okay?
Well, Technically, almost all of them are insectivorous. The vast majority of them are eating insects. Let's see, there are a few species that can eat prey up to the size of rats, but those are really, really rare. The vast majority of them go ahead and live off of prey, such as, let's see, usually from mosquito to fly size, with a few more that can go ahead and handle larger ones. I've got some examples here in the gallery to go ahead and give you an idea.
Let's see them.
I can go ahead and give everybody a tour here. Sure. Okay. Well, what I can do is I can start off. I will flip through so that everyone can take a look around. This gives you an idea on what I've got over here to start off with. And when I was telling you I've got larger enclosures that I normally bring out to Frightmare, I was not kidding. I figure I can go ahead and I can start off with some of the main groups. To begin with, I've got our good old-fashioned standby here, the Venus Flytrap, which is a lot of people will go ahead. Let's see, that for them, this is the only carnivorous plant they know. This is one of, depending on who you talk to, between 750 and 1,200 species worldwide. They're found on every continent but Antarctica, and Antarctica had them before it froze over about 3 million years ago, based on pollen analysis. So anyway, the flytrap here is a start. They're okay. It's a matter of a lot of people enjoy fly traps, but I honestly look at them as a little bit of one-trick ponies, especially when you see some of the other ones I've got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start out here by showing off. This is a great example of an Asian pitcher plant. This is part of a group that live along the Pacific Rim and along the Indian Ocean. The vast majority of them are found on the islands of Borneo and Sulawesi, but you have a couple on Madagascar, 5 species in Australia, a couple in China, and quite a few in the Philippines. And this one here is a hybrid of 2 varieties that are generally found in the Philippines. This is Nepenthes ventrata, as its common name is. And in this case, I'll go ahead and I will show you how this works. In all of these cases, with all of these plants, the definition of a carnivorous plant is the plant that has the ability to attract, capture, and digest insect and other animal prey. And with the pitcher plants, you have 4 different groups worldwide, 1 group in North America, 1 group in South America, the Asian pitcher plants, which I'm describing here, and then 1 from Australia that I'll show you here in a minute, that all have pitfall traps. They all attract insects by secreting nectar along the lip of the pitcher and then having one way or another to go ahead and trap prey inside once it's in. And with the Asian pitcher plant here, this one's a great example because it goes and gives you a very good idea on how it works. The plant secretes nectar along the lip and the underside of the lid of the pitcher. And also, as was just discovered 10 years ago, the lip fluoresces really strongly under ultraviolet light. If you were to go ahead and put this under a rock light right now, the sort for fluorescent minerals, that lip would glow a brilliant bright blue. So insects are drawn in by that, and they go ahead and go for the nectar on the underside, and then there are more nectar glands right here in the throat of the pitcher. Well, they'll go ahead and try to climb in to go ahead and get further. If they slip and fall in, they fall into the main body. Now, the whole inside of this is lined with a special wax that'll jam up their foot pads really badly, and the bottom of this is full of a fluid. It's a combination of digestive fluid, and there's a special polymer in it that acts like a wet blanket. It honestly feels a little bit like snot when these open up. And the insect ends up getting worn out on that. It drowns, it dies, and the plant is able to go ahead and digest it and absorb the nitrogen from that bug to be able to grow. All of these plants aren't doing this out of some kind of perversity. They're doing this because they all live in very, very low nitrogen environments where they would have real problems getting hold of nitrogen otherwise. And so in this case, they let their nitrogen come to them. So anyway, let me go ahead and go on through. When I was telling you about the pitcher plants, this is one here that should go ahead and get all of the Lost World fans out here really nicely nuts. This is an Australian pitcher plant, Cephalatus. This is the last of its kind anywhere in the world. Its closest relations today include apples and roses, and all that means is that they separated from their ancestors, separated from Cephalatus's ancestors about 90 million years ago, and that's based on DNA analysis that just came out last year. Today, they're only found in one small area in far southern West Australia, hence their common name, the Albany pitcher plant, because they're found around Albany, West Australia. And even then, that area they're becoming endangered in their native habitat due to habitat destruction and development. But thankfully, they're doing quite nicely in captivity. This, in fact, is a specific variety. You have what are called cultivars, that if you develop a particular form of a plant and it's uniquely different, it's like when you go into a garden center and you see all the roses with different names on them. Those are individual cultivars. And you develop one, you go ahead and register it through through a particular group. That name is yours. And these are Cephalatus Elizabeth. The breeder that grew these specifically developed this. They were formally described as a new cultivar last year. So far as I know, I'm definitely the only plant gallery that's got any of these. And I know I'm one of the few people who actually has any Elizabeth cultivars here. But these,
so do you
as I like to point out to folks who are...
Do you grow these from what are they, babies? Or do you get them in like fully grown? Or how do you get them in?
These started out about the size of a quarter.
Okay.
That this is growth over the last year and a half.
Oh, okay.
So unfortunately, Cephalatus here tends to grow really, really slowly. They'll eventually go ahead and fill this container. Let me go ahead and bring this back so everyone can take a look at this. But they will go ahead. Let's see. They might theoretically fill this, but it'd take about 15 years to go ahead and grow that big.
Nice.
So it's just really nice that these are growing this big.
So they live a long time, huh?
They can, yeah.
Okay.
And many of them will go ahead and sprout off of their roots and form colonies. So technically, they're immortal, so long as you treat them right. An individual plant may die, but you'll end up with new ones going in and coming off of that. And I'll go ahead and I'll show some of those here in a minute.
They're pod people.
Pretty close to it. Well, this one's even better because the with Cephalatus here is that I keep telling people if I had access to cheap and effective time travel, if it turns out that my grandmother left me a TARDIS after all, I wouldn't be wasting my time going back to see the Battle of Agincourt. I wouldn't be wasting my time going to watch Woodstock. I'd be going back to Antarctica 30 million years ago, taking pictures of everything I had, because everything I'd be taking pictures of would be completely unknown to science today. That there may be fossil deposits of these on Antarctica, it's just they're underneath, about 1.5 miles of ice, that's all. So yeah, you are really looking at a chunk of lost world. Cephalatus here, based on where it's living in West Australia, was almost definitely living in Antarctica. We don't have any absolute proof on this just because of the fact that you can't, number one, carnivores don't fossilize well, and two, it's a matter of being able to get to those fossil beds. But my suspicion is that there were cousins of Cephalatus all over the place, and we're just, about 3 million years too late to be able to see them. So anyway, I can go ahead and come on through and go ahead and show you some of the others. When I was telling you about other pitcher plants, this is a South American pitcher plant. This is another lost world situation. These guys are native to plateaus called tepuis at the border of Venezuela, Guyana, and Brazil. And these tepuis can go as much as 1 mile, 1.5 miles high. And as such, they're constantly bathed in cloud. Now, some of them are so sheer that they were impossible to reach until the advent of airplanes. And so you had all of these unique organisms living up on top of these tepuis. Now, back when Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was still alive, he set his novel The Lost World on top of one of these tepuis because it was thought there might be the possibility, considering how old they were, that there might still be dinosaurs on top. Well, when people got on top, they found no dinosaurs, no big animals of any sort, but all really bizarre plants. Now, the Helianthora here works a little bit the same way as the other pitcher plants that you saw here did, except you see the little tabs there on the top of the leaves. Those are called nectar cups. They secrete a actually poisonous nectar. It has a drug in it called conine that stuns insects. And to make matters better is that in the wild, you have frogs that will live inside of those, inside of the pitchers, waiting, just staring at those nectar cups. Because when an insect drinks off of that nectar, it'll go ahead and get drunk and it'll bounce off, and all the frog has to do is open its mouth. And the frog will live its entire life. There are a lot of these that have symbiotic animals that will go ahead and live in them. North American pitcher plants in the Gulf Coast get little green tree frogs living in them. The Asian pitcher plants have frogs living in them all the time. There's even one species I'll show you here in a minute that its pitchers are the natural breeding site of one of the smallest frogs in all of Asia. Then we can go ahead and go into, there's another group of plants that are generally referred to as the sticky leaf traps. These are bladderworts from Mexico. Bladderworts are found all throughout the northern hemisphere, and in this case, the entire top of the leaf surface is sticky. You'll also notice that many of these are blooming over in here. These are a major food source for hummingbirds throughout the states of Yucatan and Quintana Roo. They grow on limestone cliff faces and other slightly drier areas, and hummingbirds will come in and feed off of them. If you take a look here, let me see if I can go ahead and get this a little bit better. If you notice on this bloom right over here in the center, you'll see that little tail that's coming off of that. The tail is what's called a nectar tube, and that's there specifically to encourage hummingbirds to get down deep so that they're able to pollinate the flower. And the hummingbirds have been known to attack researchers that try to get up to study the plants. Wow. As I like to point out, the Aztecs' war god was always portrayed as a hummingbird because you could be any human could be cool enough possibly to be compared to a jaguar. If you were really cool, you could be compared to an eagle. No human was cool enough to be compared to a hummingbird. Those things have no fear of man, beast, or God. And anybody who's spending time with hummingbird, there's a comment that an ornithologist related to me a couple of years ago about how hummingbirds have a actual distinct language. They have about maybe 24 words that or regular noises that they use, and about 90% of them are profanities.
Wow. Well, this is fascinating.
They sound like a trucker going full tilt.
Wow. Have you ever seen the movie The Ruins?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I also have you read the novel? A lot of people
I haven't read the novel,
but
I thought that movie was one of the most original horror films that I'd seen in quite a long time, and it's one of my favorites, so it reminds me of that. Well, we could talk to you about this all day. I think we're about to the end of this segment. Paul, you got to come. You got to come back. You got to come back. I didn't realize we should have scheduled you more time because this is fascinating. There's so much stuff that we could talk about.
I agree. I could talk to Paul all day about this. This is interesting.
Hey, I'm glad to come back.
We'd love to have you back.
Life without Frightmare is like a broken pencil. Listen, like I said, life without Frightmare is like a broken pencil, completely pointless.
You have been a major supporter of our event for so long, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything. And before we let you go, Paul, please let everybody know where they can find you online and, just plug everything about your stuff. Please.
Sure. Well, I'm at TexasTriffidRanch.com. That's TriffidRanch. Let's see. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. In fact, I now have, thanks to you, Lloyd, you and a couple of other people in the Dallas area that I owe a huge debt to, is that I'm now going ahead and doing videos on Twitch as well. In fact, I'm going to be doing one here shortly after your show's done. I don't want to step on your toes. But I'm going to be doing a regular piece on carnivores, specifically to go ahead and show off some of the features of these plants. So if any of you want to go ahead and sign on in later tonight, I will be here.
Perfect. I'd love to watch that. Yeah, that'd be cool to watch.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Paul. We will definitely be visiting you soon. Have a good day.
Well, thank you, Paul.
Thank you. You take care, Lloyd. Thank you. All of you take care.
All right, sir. Bye-bye. Wow. It's so intriguing. We didn't think about all of the stuff, all of the knowledge that he has. There's so much that you can learn. I find that subject immensely. That's why I brought up the movie The Ruins, because I felt that was one of the creepiest movies that I'd ever seen.
Yeah. I've never really got a big chance to look at it, and it's so fascinating. I would love to go by his gallery sometime and just check out everything he has there. It's so cool.
Exactly. Well, as you can see, scrolling at the bottom, we've got coming up, we've got Felissa Rose, and she is in the background here. Let's go ahead and bring her in. Everybody, welcome Felissa Rose.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
There she is. Hey.
We're so glad to see you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
How is quarantine treating you?
Oh, it's like one big party.
All the time.
For me, it's a constant wine fest and house party, Zoom. So staying in touch with people is it's actually, I think, brought people together a lot more. We're bonding through this experience.
Yeah. Do they have alcohol delivery in your area?
They have.
We have that in Dallas.
Even if they hadn't, I think they started.
Yeah, that's
How are you doing?
We're good. What do you have going on right now? Is there any upcoming? I saw you did a short film while in quarantine. I saw that recently. Tell us a little about that.
I did, yes. My good friend Michael Varadi, he put together a little short called Unusual Attachment and put a great cast together and said, hey, let's just be creative while we're isolated and kind of, make something fun. And he did. And of course, just like he's so brilliant, it's gotten a lot of great kind of recognition, and I'm really proud to be a part of anything that he has going on. He brought me into Dragula. I got to be a guest on Dragula. So Michael is just a phenomenal person and talent. And I've done 2 animated shows while I've been in quarantine and a couple of other kind of iPhone movies. So everyone's thinking, trying to be creative and use their talents wisely while we're home.
And I was watching, I was looking at your IMDb page. You've got so much going on. I think, do you ever sleep? You've got like all this stuff.
No, Charles, I do not. That's why I thought at first it would be really difficult to be in quarantine, because I do love my conventions. As you know, Texas Frightmare is my favorite, and just kind of going from set to convention. But we've slowed down and things were just postponed, so they weren't completely stopped. But I'm looking forward to kind of it all lifting and getting back on set and finishing what we started. There have been a lot of good projects in the making.
I saw you're also working on Terrifier 2. Is that correct?
Yes, that's because I stalked those guys. I'm a huge Terrifier fan, and I saw them at conventions, and I said I have to be a part of it. I see they're going to be at Texas Frightmare. They are phenomenal guests, David Howard Thornton and Damien Leone and the Fuzz on the Lens guys. So definitely, you'll have a blast with them. But yeah, I finished my role in Terrifier 2, and I'm really excited for it to come out, I think in October. So definitely expect something outrageous, as only they can bring to the horror genre. So that will be great.
I have a feeling you're really good at stalking people. Am I right?
I have it down to a T. Just like Adam Green with Hatchet, it's kind of like I was a huge fan of the Hatchet franchise, and I saw Adam at a convention, and I just kind of said, I want to work with you. I want to be a part of what you're doing. So, I love great people like the two of you. You meet good, wonderful folks. You just kind of want to be in their world.
What horror filmmaker would not want Felissa Rose involved in that project?
Oh, but you're so sweet. I'm always like, I'll come and serve coffee. Like if I love a movie, I just want to be around it, So yeah, that's what I love about the genre. The community is so great, so fierce. We love each other.
I told her before she should come to Frightmare and work our ticket counter. Just have her
and
back
I said,
there, just
please, yes.
I'll
Well, it's funny. I'll be in Houston the week before. So I'm like, you might just see me, come as a guest and kind of see all of your wonderful people that, I have to say big shout out to all of the volunteers to run your show and the two of you. It's really and truly one of the most amazing experiences I ever had at convention. You reach such a global audience, so many wonderful folks who come and see you and fly out. And it was truly incredible. Thank you.
This last year was crazy. It was one of the craziest shows we've ever had. It was just packed.
Was it? I've never seen a show like that. For me, it was just like, they're always amazing. And I do love every convention I go to is like a family reunion and so much fun. I love the parties. I love the guests. I've become best friends with so many friends who I've met at conventions, but especially in Texas. You do it big, man. Dallas is like my second home. I'm there often. So I get to see a lot of friends when I'm there, and it's the best time.
Yeah. Well, I know we've gotten when people love a guest because everybody talks about them, and we've gotten so many amazing comments about how great Felissa Rose is, and that was so awesome. We certainly were thankful for you coming out to the event.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me. It's like, for me, the convention scene is such a connection. I really do love people, and I love the horror genre. So both of those two things together is just like, and I'm so excitable. I know you can't tell, but so when I'm in a room with all of that great energy, it just like, it gets me going. I'm so inspired, and I love meeting new people and talking about great movies.
I have a question. At, I saw Sleepaway Camp. I was just a kid. Had no idea what to expect. That ending was one of the most shocking endings I had ever seen in my entire, well, even up till the day, it's still one of the most shocking endings. How old were you when you did the film?
So I was 13 when we filmed. We filmed in 1982. And certainly when I read the script for the first time, I was shocked by it because we hadn't seen anything like it. And definitely it was provocative for the time because I was a real young person and the subject matter was enormous. It was great. Even today, it still holds up. I think the social commentary on the film is, kind of resonates with audiences now. So it's endured its time, I think. I mean, it's so cheesy. It's so 80s. We love like the fashion, the shorts, the way we talk. It was hilarious, the New York accents. But I think it was a good time and we didn't take it seriously. So people see the cheese factor in it.
So at 13, you were aware of how the film ended and what was going on. You hear that today. Nowadays, they kind of hide some of the more sensitive stuff from the kids, and they don't really know what's going on. You knew that. You were aware.
Oh, I did. Yes. They had me and my mom, we had to read the script. They actually had to ask my mom at the callback if it was okay for me to have the penis in the movie. Huge spoiler if anyone doesn't know. And that's really, it drove the whole film, that last shot. And originally they were just going to have me stand there and they were sort of molding that piece. But then Ed French, the effects artist, said, no, I think we really need to make a mold of her face and have a young boy stand there. And it was way more effective because he was a real guy. And as we see in that shot, the long shot is his full body, and he had to shave and have a small face to fit into the mask. And he had to be 18 years of age to do the nudity. So it was quite amazing what went into those last few seconds.
Yeah, the way you see the effect, how did that work? I mean, was that just a still shot? It's amazingly creepy how it looks too at the end. It's more than just like a video shot or something. It's really a creepy thing.
It is, and I think it's because he was terrified. So the young man who played the character at the end, I think he drank like a bottle of Jack Daniels. He was crying and he was standing so stiff in his being so nervous that shot does come off in this kind of like, animalistic primal kind of stance. And then they had me growl, but they put all of this other texture on it with other noises. And I just think the moment is really, truly unusual and creepy and weird. And, you hadn't seen a 13-year-old kind of, transition like that in a film.
Yeah. Completely shocked.
Thank you. I know. I feel so lucky and blessed to still talk about it almost 40 years later.
It definitely holds up. I mean, it pokes a lot of issues that are still a factor today. Bullying of people who are different. And it's just kind of, I think it was ahead of its time in a lot of ways, and it's really going to remain with people for a long time. I think you're definitely made your mark. You're definitely one of the first ladies of horror, and we appreciate everything.
Oh, thank you, Charles and Lloyd. I really appreciate that. Definitely, I'll say with the bullying, I mean, we've all felt that as, an adolescent. So I think it speaks volumes for people who feel maybe lonely and sad. And I feel very grateful to be able to talk to people about it who have had those moments in their lives. And I'm always an open door. So if people want to talk to me, I'm very thankful that if I can lend an ear or a conversation.
That's what matters.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So going on to another story I once heard about you. Is it true you were on the set of Ghostbusters?
I think she froze up. Oh, there she is. She's back.
Yeah. Did you say Ghostbusters?
I said Ghostbusters. I heard you were on the set of Ghostbusters.
That's true. I was. I was 15, and the same manager who had gotten me the role of Angela in Sleepaway Camp called and said they're making this movie called Ghostbusters. They need a couple of teenagers to be in the shot where they're painting the sign. And I was so fortunate to be there all day. You know, it was kind of like extra work, but it was amazing to see. Bill Murray was right next to me the whole time, and he even talked about like, oh, we should get lunch. You know, he was so cool and down to earth. And for me, I was just like a starstruck kid. So it was quite amazing, but it was a lot of fun. And to show my kids the movie now, I'm like, there I am, like in the background walking by.
I think a lot of people don't realize you were in that because I don't see it come up too much. And I tell people that, they're like, what? I'm like, she was. Ask her.
Yeah, that and Fatal Attraction. I was in Fatal Attraction, and I got to work with Glenn Close and Michael Douglas. As a teenager in New York, I was fortunate. I was on a couple of Woody Allen films, so it was a great experience. And it sort of made me realize how much I love the filmmaking process and acting and being around other, creative people. It's quite fascinating.
So this is what you always wanted to do then?
I think from when I was really little, I was always like a big ham and loved to sing and dance. I wanted to be a musical theater actress. So I was really studying to kind of like, I wanted to be on Broadway and like do Anything Goes and Mame and all these musicals. But after Sleepaway Camp, I loved the art form of really creating like the special effects and just watching a horror movie be made was quite amazing. So I just jumped in, and fortunately I was embraced, and now it's just like a love match. So I feel, really lucky to be involved. It was like, you just kind of go with your flow, you feel it and you go with it, and it's been wonderful.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So what else do you guys have going on? Are you, you have a lot of guests? Are you doing this, this live stream weekly?
You're our main guest today. You're actually the first guest on Frightmare HQ. So if I had sound effects, I'd play like a
Well, I'm so excited, and I want everyone to check it out because the two of you are incredible, and obviously want run like the greatest convention. So I'm sure everyone will just be glued to see what you have coming up and all of the guests, and it's just too fun. This is what we have to do. We have to kind of embrace where we are right now with this quarantine.
That's definitely what triggered us doing the show was, we can't do anything right now. We're all locked in our homes, and why not give everybody something free that they can jump on and kind of participate in the convention and get that atmosphere, the convention atmosphere, or get a little piece of it,
Yeah,
have all of us come together.
Like you said, we're all family, and we're all here to spend time with each other. And one of the big things about me and Lloyd doing this is trying to connect with people more than once a year, and that's why we're happy to talk to you. And when me and Lloyd were talking, we're like, well, who could be our first guest? And we said, it's got to be Felissa, because everybody loves her. Everybody loves her. She's got to come on.
Well, I love you. Like, if I could just, I just, this community has been the greatest source of just love and happiness. I think anyone who attends a convention can say it's just like a big family reunion, and we have the best time together. We party, we laugh, we talk about movies. It's the greatest.
Definitely is. Let me ask you a question. Besides Sleepaway Camp, which you're obviously most well known for, what is your favorite role that you've had over the years?
I've been lucky, especially as of late, like really within the past like 7 or 8 years, being an older actress. I play a lot of really fun character roles. I was in a movie called Garlic and Gunpowder, and I play like this 300-pound mob boss where I'm like smoking a cigar the whole movie like this. And I also, I would have to say like Victor Crowley was really fun because I got to play like, the New York publicist. But I consider them all like babies of mine, where I love each one, for their own little reasons and experiences on set. But Return to Sleepaway Camp was definitely a fun one. I was spoiler, I was a man in that, and I was in 6 hours of makeup
Wow.
And so that was really fun because I love getting into the prosthetics and the clothing. And, you know, even my mom said to me, are you sure you want to play this part? You know, all the girls would be running around like in bikinis and looking glamorous. And I said, no, I want to be, you know, that guy had a voice box. So definitely the character roles are where I had the most fun. I feel most comfortable kind of under the layers of the character, both physically and like even with what I create, you know, as the actor. So I have a movie called The Nun's Curse coming out. That was really fun too, playing this crazy maniacal nun.
Someone brought that up in the comments a minute ago, the Nun's Curse, and I've been seeing that popping up too a lot lately.
Me as well.
It's getting a lot of media, so that's good.
That's awesome.
You know, it's funny. You answered that question years ago. We had Ernest Borgnine on, or at our event, and
Ernie.
you answered the question the same way he did. When somebody asked him, "What's your favorite role of all time?" he said, "They're all like children.
Yep.
How can you not like any of them? I love them all. They're all my children."
And it's true, because for that moment in time when you're on set, you become so in love, even if they're crazy killers, or you find something endearing about them because they're still human. You have to create a human person. And you just kind of like, I leave set, of course, I'm so cheesy and sappy. I'm always like crying, like, I love the cast, the crew. And then you kind of like put it in a box and you look at it later on and you're like, you know, that I grew it up. I let it go. I gave it out to the world. They'll critique it as they will, which is totally cool. And you just kind of love it. You know, you made something special and you remember it like that.
So when does The Nun's Curse come out?
I think it comes out, it's May 7th or May 12th. Yeah, by Tommy Faircloth, who's a wonderful filmmaker, absolutely phenomenal. I met him at a convention, Days of the Dead in Atlanta, and he and I hit it off, and we did a movie called Family Possessions together. And fortunately, I've been lucky to work with directors, you know, over and over several times, and we kind of have those love relationships, if you will.
You stalk them, right?
I stalk them. That's all it is. I just keep stalking them. They can't get rid of me, and they're like, okay, I'll put you in this movie.
I think it's because you not only stalk them, but you're also so nice. They're like, we have to bring her back.
Aww.
That's what happens.
Well, I love my friends and filmmakers, and yeah, it's good. It's good.
Amazing.
Thank you
again for joining us. We do
thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, before we say goodbye, is there anywhere that we can send people? Do you have a website? Can anybody right now, can they go online and buy an autograph or anything?
Well, I'm actually doing, funny enough, today, I'm doing a live convention on my Instagram, Felissa Rose 123. It's really just going to be a Q&A where I'm live because I need that interaction and to feel the energy of all my friends. So I figure we could all drink together. My husband's going to play music. He's a musician, and we're going to kind of feel that, you know, that convention vibe. And also, I'm always on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, and I have a website, FelissaRose.com. So
perfect.
Thank you.
Well, it's been an absolute honor to have you on. Thank you so much. Thank you for being so kind and so friendly to the horror community. I know they all love you for that. So really, thank you so much.
We do appreciate
it. I love you both. Mwah. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. And good luck with the show. Have fun.
All right. We'll see you on Instagram in a little while.
Okay. I'll stalk you soon.
Bye. Bye. What a great lady. She's always so nice. Can't hear you, Lloyd.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to cough. So, yeah, she's amazing. What a joy.
Her husband is in a band I listen to called CKY. If you ever heard of CKY, her husband
in
was
that heard
band. Yeah.
I didn't know he was in that band.
Yeah, he was one of the original members, I think, of CKY. He was around for a while.
No way. Wow. Well, listen, let's go ahead and give away our photo from last week. We had 2 photos of Dieter Laser.
Dieter
Laser. The
Laser
first
like the beam.
We're going to give away. Let me pull this up. I wrote everything down, and I want to make sure that I get it right.
And again, thank you to everybody for sharing, you know, everything that you did to bring people, you know, to watch this. We're definitely doing this for you guys, and we just love having you guys on it with us. So thank you again.
Absolutely. So, the first one that we're going to give away, drum roll, please.
Which picture are they getting?
You know what? I'm not sure. I think it was the first one,
Okay.
the one where he's in the lab coat, I believe. But this one, the first one goes to Jimmy LeComte. Jimmy LeComte, you won. If you reach out to us through our Frightmare Facebook page, you can send me your address and we'll get that mailed out to you right away.
Congrats, Jimmy. Thank you.
Let's see. The next one goes out to Todd Seeley.
Todd.
Todd, yes.
Thank you, Todd.
Todd, thank you very much for sharing. You guys, we appreciate it very, very much. Sharing everything as much as you can, just getting the word out. We thank both of you for doing that. Thanks for everybody that shared.
Yes.
If you didn't win, you're going to have another chance to do so soon.
Yep, but we have another chance soon enough to win more items, part of what we're doing.
All right. And since we've already since we've given that one away, let's give away something else. What do you say?
I'm always down for giving something away. What do we got this time, Lloyd?
All right, I'm going to bring this up. We have a signed 8x10 of the amazing Karen Black. Karen Black, as a lot of you know, was a guest at our show many, many years ago when we were still at the Sheraton Hotel. Karen was absolutely an amazing guest.
She was a character. I really enjoyed spending time with her. From having her sing opera in the backseat of my car to talking to her about some of her roles. That was when you
picked her up at the airport, right?
Yeah, I picked her up from the airport and we were driving along quietly and she just started singing opera in the back of the car. I was just like, it was pretty good. I was like, all right. I'm like, I can get down with this. I don't, to this day, don't know why she was doing it, but maybe she had a tune in her head and she just needed to get it out.
She was so incredible, and one of my favorite guests of all time. I'm a huge fan of everything she's ever done, especially the older stuff from the 70s. But she did so much all the way up through House of a Thousand Corpses. And this is what we've got here, signed 8x10 of her. Same thing with this one. Just share the video as much as you can. Let everybody know. We're going to pick a winner from everybody that shares, and we'll announce that on the next show. Speaking of the next show.
Next show should be fun, right, Lloyd?
We've got a big one coming up. I think we're looking at about 2 hours of content so far, with even more coming.
To kind of help you guys fill the void of the day that should have been Frightmare. But, of course, there's other important things for us to worry about right now. So the best we can do is kind of bring a little fun to you guys. So I think next weekend's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. We've already got, do you want to tell them the first guest? Do you know which one I'm talking about that is 100% confirmed? You remember who I told you?
Talking about Bill?
Exactly.
Bill Mosley. Yep.
Bill Mosley's going to join us next week. We've got quite a few others planned, as well as a bunch of great vendors that are going to be joining us too, that are already confirmed. Nightmares Unlimited is going to come on and show us some of their cool stuff.
Timothy
Pittides is going to come on.
He'll be on.
He's going to show us all of his great art. So we're definitely looking to that. We want to keep some of this a surprise, at least for a couple of days. But you guys aren't going to believe it. May 2nd, 2 p.m. It's a Saturday. It's the original date of the event. So we want to really do something spectacular for you guys. We want to show you, pull out all the stops, so to speak, and build a big show. And like I said, I think we're at about 2 hours of content so far.
We're at about 2 hours of content, but I told Lloyd I'll stay on as long as we got stuff to show. I'll spend the whole day with everybody if they want to.
It goes so fast. I mean, when we started planning all of this stuff, we were kind of like, oh, well, 10 minutes might be too long, but now it seems like it might be not long enough.
Yeah, especially, talking to Triffid Branch, it's like I could listen to him talk all day about the plants, I'm like, tell me more. And I'm like, wait, it's already been 12 minutes. Okay.
It went by fast, and we actually went over the 10 minutes that we slotted. So we need to definitely get Paul back on. Definitely wasn't enough time for him. He's got so much great stuff, and
He does. I would love to hear more. There's so much more of his shop. I want to hear more about, what he has there. It's so much cool stuff.
yeah, I want to hear more about it too, and I want to give all of our attendees, more of that experience and let them hear the full deal. So we'll make sure to have him back on soon.
Yes,
most definitely. What else do you have, Charles? You have anything else?
Just looking forward to next week. Looking forward to joining back on with everybody. I want everybody to stay safe and keep watching movies. If you find any cool stuff to watch, let me know. The weirder, the better. I always say.
Exactly. Let's go through, before we sign out here, let's go through some of our comments here.
Yeah, we got any comments?
Yeah, I kind of want to change the look of it, though. Let's see.
Lick all of our plates. Oh, okay.
Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Let's make it a little
Nathan.
bigger there.
Naughty Nathan.
So, Nathan, lick all of our plates, dog dicks. All right. I agree.
That's the motto of the day for everybody. Everybody has to say that at least once today.
Texas Triffid Branch, whenever you want me back, I'm there. Thank you, Paul. We appreciate that.
And definitely, Paul, we want you back. You got so much cool stuff.
Let's see. Ingrid. Hi, Ingrid. Loved each passing minute of each show. Thank you, Ingrid. We appreciate you joining us, and thank you for your support.
Thanks, Ingrid.
Let's find some other comments here. All right. Richard Nettleton says, now I'm looking forward to guest announcements for this.
Look forward, Richard. We're going to have a lot of fun next weekend.
A lot of guest announcements. We're just teasing you with Bill Mosley. There's some really cool guests coming up, and it's been a long time since I've spoken to Bill in person. I've talked to him quite a bit on Twitter and stuff like that, but it's been a long, long time since I've actually seen his good-looking face.
Yeah. He's always a great guy. He's done so many iconic roles, and he's done Frightmare a few times, but like you said, it's been a while, and it'll definitely be good to chat with him, see what he's been up to.
Here's my like for this video. Thank you, Angel.
A couple of happy faces on there.
The devil is back.
El Diablo.
Get out of here, El Diablo. What are you doing here?
Dost thou want to live deliciously?
Bob Lewis says, Nightmares Unlimited is a stellar vendor. Yes, he is. And he has been toiling day and night for a project for the next show. He's been making an Excalibur chainsaw for the photo op, the Texas Chainsaw 3 Leatherface photo op that we're doing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Nightmares Unlimited as well. Some of the stuff that they do is so amazing, and it's so like spot on to like film. And I'm really happy to see them come on, see a little bit of what they're working on.
Me too. I bought a couple of the Freddy gloves from him at the last show, and they're amazing. I think I had one over here. Here it is. It's back behind George here. That's one of his. Oh, things are dropping.
Yeah,
that's one of his gloves there. Can you see that or no?
No.
Let me make it a little bigger.
Make it bigger, Lloyd.
Yeah, there it is. There's one of Mark's gloves that I purchased from him, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
it really
you guys
is.
will. If you haven't checked him out before, you're gonna definitely love seeing his stuff. Because if you a fan of film quality, accurate props like Freddy's glove, his work is top notch.
Let's see. Ingrid Hubert says, El Diablo is naughty, naughty.
El Diablo is naughty.
El Diablo is naughty. And El Diablo just kind of pops up whenever they want to, so we can't control them.
Can't control the Diablo.
Let's see. I'm getting into a DeLorean and heading there September.
Travis, come pick me up. Travis. Let's go.
Let's see. Triffid Ranch replied to someone and said, "Oh, you're in for a treat. The best thing you can do is just wander. There's always something going on until the doors close on Sunday."
I think he's talking to somebody, Trav.
Here's Todd Seeley. You won our photo.
Congrats
Todd,
again, Todd.
Yeah, Todd says, "I can't express enough how good this live event makes me feel today. So good to be with my peeps." That's the point. That's the point. I hope you guys are really enjoying this. We're having fun doing it.
Yeah, we enjoy being on here with you guys, and appreciate you guys spending time with us.
Mick Mac says, "My schedule for next week is going to be cleared for this."
Clear it, Mick.
Clear some time, Mick Mac. We are going to be on for a while. Here's Tim Pittide. See you all next week.
There he is. He's
Tim,
always does great work. Does the Frightmare poster, and his work is just very much up my taste. Very much my taste.
It's always been amazing. And we're probably going to show off some of the past posters that he's done, plus a lot of his. It's up to him, whatever he wants to show off. But he's probably going to show off a lot of his art as well, besides the Frightmare stuff. Lloyd and Charles, it's Travis Denson, attendee since 2011. So happy to see you guys on this new format. Proud to be a Frightmare friend.
Thanks, Travis.
Thank you, Travis. We appreciate you.
I think I went to a movie once with Travis, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you did.
You have to remind me, Travis.
Let's see, Charles. Let's see, there's a new one. Charles, what year is that Frightmare poster from behind you?
What year is that one from, Lloyd? That's the first time we had a poster like that.
I think so. That was Gary Pullen.
That was Pullen's, yep.
You're going to have to look at that. Look at the date on there because I just can't remember the date.
Well, it should be 2012. It should be our 2012 show.
Is it 20? Okay, yeah, that was the first year at the Hyatt.
Yeah, and that was the first year we actually had a poster like this. So
exactly.
That was Gary, Gary Pullen, who recently brought out a book. Gary did too. Yeah. Did the cover
here's the program from 2012. Let's see. Was that the year that we had Gunner there?
Yeah, and the cast of They Live. That was also the Borgnine year too.
Yeah, Borgnine was there. I'm looking through it. Piper Laurie. Oh my goodness, she was awesome.
She was great too.
Travis Brown says Friday the 13th is going to be 40 years old, and thanks Tom Savini for creating Jason and bringing him back for part 4.
Yeah, Friday the 13th is about to hit that 40th anniversary mark. I know it was released sometime in May of 1980, if I recall. Early May 8th or 9th, 1980. So yeah, it's right at the 40-year mark for that, which is crazy to think it's been around that long,
Very crazy. Shannon McCarthy is one of our vendors. She's with Frankenplus. She says, "Can't wait for next week. I'll be sewing and watching." Shannon, if you can hear me, if you're watching right now, post up your a link or something here. I'll put it up for everybody so they can go see. She's got some really cool masks that she's got out. She's got a Joe. What's the guy from the last Mad Max movie? Joe.
Oh yeah. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah,
but
she's got a cool mask.
The breathing one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like a COVID-19 mask that looks like Joe from the last Mad Max movie.
Cool. I like to see that too.
Post up your stuff, Shannon. We'll post it for you. Matt Orsman, our art guy, says that was an amazing year. What's up, Matt?
Hey, Matt. Matt, yeah, Matt's right. 2012 was an amazing year.
It was
a great year.
Let's see. I'm going to kind of wait and see if Shannon posts any comments with any of her details before we sign out here. Immortan Joe, there you go. Texas Triffid Ranch. Immortan Joe.
Thanks.
Escaped my mind. One of my favorite movies, though, from the past few years.
It was a really beautifully made film, and we had to wait a long time for that movie, and it looks like we're waiting a long time for the sequel to that too, but it was really a great movie, No, Diablo. Go away, Diablo.
Diablo again.
Get out of here. The power of Christ compels you.
Tell him, Joe. I'll call you Joe. Tell him, Charles.
Don't call me Joe.
You're a Morton Joe. You didn't know that?
I'm gonna call you Shirley. That's your new name, Shirley.
Hey, don't call me Shirley. Toe cutter mask, I believe, says Joseph Sarter.
Toe cutter.
Shannon says she's on her phone and it won't post, but
Okay.
it's on the TFW page. So yeah, if you join the TFW official group, you can go in there and get her links. And we just want to make sure that we're letting everybody know about all the vendors and
Yeah.
all the amazing stuff that you can get and you can still get during the quarantine, even without going to the Texas Frightmare weekend.
I think that anybody who's going out right now during the quarantine needs a mask, and they need a mask that's cool. So I think we all need some Morton Joe masks, really.
Absolutely.
No plain black or white masks. We need cool stuff. We're not low key people here. You know that.
I love reading you guys' comments. Thank you so much. Keep commenting. Keep sharing.
We need holy water for the devil too.
Yeah, send us holy water.
Please.
We'll put an address up and you can send us holy water. I would actually like to get some holy water if I could. That would be cool.
I don't even know what you do with it, but I don't want to know, Lloyd. That's your special time.
Not today, COVID Satan.
Not today, COVID.
What would Satan do? They would interrupt our live stream. That's what.
Oh, Satan. Maybe it stands for Santa. What would Santa do?
Exactly. All right, guys. I think we'll go ahead and wrap up. Do you have anything else, Charles?
That's it. Just, looking forward to everybody joining next week, and be a little bit longer next week, but we'll have a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Make sure you share the live stream to get a chance to win this. We'll definitely look through all the shares and pull those up.
Yep, we appreciate it. And Karen's a great one to have. If you don't have it, you're not. It's a harder one to get now because she's another one who's left us. So
she did, but she passed away, so that is a hard autograph to get. So
yep.
we're glad to pass it on to you. We have a few extras from over the years, so hey, we just want to share it with our attendees.
I think for next week, Lloyd, we need to get some stuff together and do some more giveaways for next week too. For the big
Absolutely. One. I think you've got some interesting stuff you were talking about that you might. Do. Yeah.
I got some interesting extras of stuff that I'm more than happy to hand out to our Frightmare people. That'll all go to good homes.
You want to keep that a surprise until next week?
I'll keep it a surprise. I think there's some good ones though.
A lot of people are going to really like what you've got, though. So make sure to tune in for a chance to win. You guys, we're going to sign out now. Thank you for joining us on Frightmare HQ. I am Lloyd Cryer, and I'm here with
Charles Doze. Thanks, everybody.
Signing out, everybody. It came back on and I was live and I went,